guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. We are happy you found us. I have a helper today. This is Sam. Today we are going to make that crafter in your life a great Christmas present. Actually, I have two ideas for Christmas presents. The first one is a needle book, holiday style. And you may be thinking, okay, my crafter in my life doesn't sew. Doesn't matter. All crafters use pens, buttons, trim. They will use it. Trust me. The second thing we're going to make, I can give you an example of. We're going to make a really cool, let's see if I have anything to make this focus. Focusing can be a pain. You know what? Let's see. Will that work? We're going to make this giant paperclip. Isn't that cool? So come with me and we'll just get into this right away because we have two amazing gifts to make today. Okay, so we are making a needle book, and what I'm using is holiday paper because I want it to be holiday edition. And I bought a pink Christmas kit off of Etsy, a digital kit, and it's a large kit. And I printed up 3 papers that to me kind of go. I have some different color pinks, and then I have one that has a hint of turquoise. If you know anything about me, I love mid-century modern, which, the theme colors are pink and turquoise. So that's why I picked this one. Then I just picked some little journaling cards to kind of go with this because you always need something to write, maybe a measurement, or if you need something for a craft. It's always nice to have a slip of paper around. So what I thought I would do is let's make the needle book. And in a needle book, the main thing is having pages to pin things to and put your needles. So with this one, because of the turquoise on this page, I had some leftover fabric. I had some leftover fabric that, as you can see, goes just beautifully with this kit, with this paper. So we're going to use this. You can use felt if you want to instead of fabric. It's whatever you have. And then to go inside too, I thought I would just add a vintage, this is from a vintage sewing pattern. I thought we would just make a page out of it and put it in there because it's always nice to have some pockets. Maybe you want to throw in some seam binding, because if you're a paper crafter, you use this on pages, cards, tags, whatever. Some old cards like this. Maybe you're not going to use the snaps, but you could make it a journaling card on the back. So I got some of this stuff just to throw in here. And then, of course, you always have to have buttons. And if anybody knows me, I collect poop stuff. And so there's my poop buttons. And, just to make it fun, because it is a Christmas present, you might want to add some goodies depending on if they're working on something or whatever. These are some corduroy covered pink buttons. So it's going to be a whole little kit. Now this is actually for me, but that's okay. And then you could also use some of this if you wanted to make some tags or something as well. This is just an old pattern that I've cut up multiple times. So let's just get into it because everything keeps falling on the floor. Okay, I'm going to leave the paper up here for now because we need to cut it into a workable needle book size. Now, I've done some snooping around and I've made needle books from kits before. Oh, and it always is great if you pick up one of these tape measures from like Dollar Tree or even Walmart or somewhere because maybe you don't want to use them, but they make great trim, especially if you're making needle books. How cute is it to have this as part of the book? We'll cut these down. And like I was saying, I've made these before with kits, and I think we did them 6 by 9. So that's what we're going to go with this one is 6 by 9. And then the cover is going to be a little bigger. And for the cover, I thought I would use the snowflakes. This is going to be my cover, and I'm going to cover it on some of this. So this will be the inside of the cover, which is just that old pattern paper. And it's actually paper that comes inside. And this is going to be the outside. So we're going to cut both of these down to a 7 by, I don't know, see here. 7 by 5 is too big. We could do a 5, I think a 5 by, let's do a 5 by 10.5. That way I only have to cut across the top, which works for me. Now you can make these any size you want, and I guess it really depends on the person you're making it for. If they're a sewer, they might need, you know, like a bigger book, or if their eyes are bad. And yes, I wear glasses, so my eyes are bad. You know, you might want to do a bigger one so they can read everything, whatever. If their hands are small, they may like a bigger book. I know I have small hands, and I love books that are larger, but not too large. That's why I don't want it to be an 8.5 by 11. Okay, and that's probably not straight. Don't yell at me, because I promise it's okay. Now this part, I'm going to save for our giant paper clip we're going to make in a little bit. So that's going to go over there. In fact, all the cutoffs from these papers we're going to save, because it's going to be like another gift. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this in half for a second. Nope, you know what? I'm just going to open this up. Okay, and this is 1 sheet thick here. And I'm just going to put this on the, glue this to this real quick. And you can pick which side you want writing, or if it even matters. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to glue this down real quick, and then I will cut it out. Oh, I'm just going to put my glue. Yes, I normally tape it. I don't know why I decided to glue, because glue takes longer and is messy. And I really hate glue when I'm trying to do these online tutorials. Or film them, I guess. I guess I'm not live, but still. And yes, that's probably crooked too. It doesn't matter. If it matters to you, fix yours. To me, it doesn't matter. Having it a little crooked gives it interest. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I'll go back if I don't get it super smooth right now. Mainly, I want to get it just trimmed down so it's easier to work with. Oh, it's so funny. So, I don't know how many of you know, I went to a art bazaar Saturday. And I didn't really take my paintings, because 90% of the ones that are really, really, really good are kind of tied up to see whether they're going to be in art shows right now. And so I didn't take them. I only took a few cards, which I am putting all that up on my art website. So if you want to go check out some cards, some prints I've done, or some photographs that are for sale, head on over there. And I will do a video of all the artwork I've done, but I can't sell it. I can't post it anywhere, because it's all submitted to contest. So we'll just have to wait on that. But I did just finish a gallery wall. It's a living gallery wall with plants, art. It's really cool. And head over to my art channel so you can just get a sneak peek of it. It's actually for sale. Okay, I got this all trimmed out, and I'm going to fold it in half. Like I said, this is for me. You're going to want to make it, I'm sure, perfect if it's for a family member, a loved one, or whatever. Okay, now I said we're going to use this as a page in here, as well as being the back side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a second page just to be a page. So it's not going to be glued down or anything. It's just going to be a page. Now I'm going to trim it up just a bit, because I'd rather it be too short than hanging out the bottom here. Okay, so I just cut it to fit inside. Very simple. Like I said, if you're giving it as a gift, you probably want to be a little more exact, but... And I'm just going to turn it that way so it's all upright. So there's one page. Now the next 2 or 3 pages, I'm just going to cut my fabric same way to fit inside. So that won't take a second. Okay, so I'm getting ready to cut this. This is fleece. It's nice and thick. If you were using a cotton fabric, you might want to back it a little bit so it has some structure. But I really don't care if it has structure, because I just want to be able to pin things. and like big pins. So I'm going to do a fleece. It's a heavier fabric. And I'm just going to cut it the same way I measured, which isn't very exact, but you know what? It works for me. So I'm going to take out the page and just use the cover to kind of measure. Okay, now we have it all cut down. Look how nice and thick that's going to be. I'm going to put this paper one. Because the fleece is so thick by itself, I'm going to separate the pages. And I'm really happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is stitch it in the middle. I think I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine. You can hand stitch it if you're giving it as a gift. You can even staple it if you want to. Remember, whoever you're making this for, how are they going to use it? And that's how you decide, you know, how to present it. Now, mine has a little hanging out, so I'm definitely going to trim that down before I go sew because I want it nice and at least inside the cover. Alright. Alright, so I just trimmed off a little bit the overage that was hanging out. Now I'm going to sew this together and then we'll come back and decorate the inside and we'll put in all the goodies and that'll give you some idea of what goes in it. And then we will make our paperclip. Okay, so all I did was sew it in. I don't know if you can see that. But I sewed it in, done. You can hand stitch it in or you can staple it. Now, if you want your cover a little thicker than just 2 pieces of paper, put a cardstock in between or use a box if you want to go, you know, do a box like a fruit snack box or something else. That's totally up to you. It's a fun little book. Now that all that's done, I'm going to come in and make a few little pockets and then put all of the fun stuff in. Now, a great way to put fun stuff in a needle book is to use pins, safety pins, needles, or whatever you have. Let's see. Oh, here they are. Ball pins or safety pins are great to put stuff in needle books. Plus, you want to make sure you put your crafters some needles in there because even paper crafters need needles, okay? And all you do to attach this kind of thing is to poke it in and you're done. It's that easy. Just remember this does hold pokey things, so it is not a gift for children. Okay, and then say you want to attach some buttons. Get my poop buttons here. And you can attach any kind of button you want. They have a little back on the back there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little loop on the back of there. And all you do, all buttons have little loops or they'll have 2 holes on the top. If they have the 2 holes, you just stick it through the 2 holes. If they have the little loop in the back, you just stick it on like that. And then you attach it to your to your fabric or your felt or fleece, because this is fleece. Fleece works great too. And you put it in. Okay. And there we go. That looks really cute, doesn't it? Now you can fill up these pages or you can just put a few things on the first page and tell your crafter, hey, you fill up the rest. This is your gift. Now, something cute you can do too is, like I said before, maybe they don't use vintage buttons or anything, but you could. I'm going to just break this in half because it's so tall and show you could use some of the vintage packaging as a pocket on the front cover like that, and then you could stick in some note cards, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to use just a tad bit of, I'll just use a little bit of glue. I'm just going to go around the very edges on 2 sides, the side closest to the opening and the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to push that down, and it makes a tuck spot right there. And then I'm going to cut out one of my cards, or a couple of my cards that I printed out from the same set. Because remember, I said it's always good to have places to jot down notes if you need to go pick up something, or if you just want to remember a size or something like that. Okay, so here are some little postcards from the kit that I cut out. All different colors. I wanted to make sure I got some of that turquoise to go with my fabric. And I'm just going to put them inside this pocket, so now my crafter has something to jot notes down. There's plenty of pages to write notes, plenty of pages to pin pins, needles, add more buttons, add trims. She could add lace, or he could add lace. So it's really a blank slate. This is a perfect gift. Now, if you wanted to doll up your front a little bit, you could always use a card or use some of the paper that you get that has more on the front for decoration. I'm going to show you how to do a cute cover very simply. I'm going to use another card from my kit that I purchased because I just love this kit, but I need to trim it a bit. And I'm going to go get some pink and white lace to decorate, so hang on. Okay guys, just a quick way to kind of decorate up the front if you want is you can add some fabric. I'm not going to add that though, it gets lost, so make sure you have some contrast. I brought some white lace, so I'm going to add a little white lace to it. Kind of going down the side there. I'm going to add a little pink fringe to it. Let me see, get some pink fringe out of here. I happen to have some eyelash trim that's real fringy. So we'll cut a little piece of this. Okay. And then we'll also put a little bit of our blue measuring tape because the color goes with the overall color inside. And that just lets you know a little bit more. It's for sewing. So there's my picture. I'm going to move. Okay. And I'm going to put, kind of layer the lace underneath. Kind of layering it all together so it kind of brings a look in. And that is the perfect cover for this book. There you go. Very happy with the way this came out. The little hint of blue, the sewing on the front. Okay, now let's get into this big paper clip that we're going to make as well. And for that, I'm going to use my other papers. And where did my clip go? Okay, so this is my example. This is what I'm going to go by. Inspired by, and it's just 3 pieces of paper. They're cut into flags and they are inked. So I'm going to measure it out with this first one that's already cut, and it goes sideways like that. I'm going to cut this paper in half, and that's probably about 1.5 inches thick. And I'm going to loop it over my paper clip and bring it down because 2 are long and 1 is shorter. And the one with the blue is going to be shorter, so I'm going to do that right there. And then once it dries, I'm going to glue it. And once it dries, then I'll cut the flag part into it. So we're just going to glue it down like this. Make sure you get glue on the paper clip so it will hold. Okay. And just bring this down. Get it on there and then come back up. Push your paper clip up into the fold there. And it's that easy. So we're going to let that dry. We're going to go ahead and measure out our second one. this is our second long one. We're just going to slide it in here. And then we're going to come down and glue it down too. Same way. I'm going to make the crease where the paper clip goes. Then I'm going to come in with my glue. Okay. Make sure you get it up around your paper clip so it'll stay put. Make it even. Push them together as close as you can get them. And there's two. Okay, now we're going to add the third one on top. Okay, I'm going to put it in this through there. Okay, I'm going to bring it up. Then glue it in the center again. But this time you're gluing it to the center of the two ribbons that are already there. And this time you're going to have to flip it over and glue the back down as well. Okay. But once you get them all glued, it should look like that. Simple, simple. And while the glue dries, we're going to go ahead and decorate with a little bit of lace across the front. Okay, and I'm just going to put my lace across there and I'll wrap it around. Okay, so I'm going to take my lace and just put it right across there, and then I'll trim it so it's not hanging over the edges. Or you can glue it around if you want. Let's just glue it around on the other side. Okay, you just might have to hold the edges down for a minute for them to set. Okay. Simple so far, right? You can do this. It's not hard. So there is our lace across the top. And now we want to add some fuzzy to give it some movement. Let's get some of these papers out of the way. Okay, because this is what we're going for. Something very similar. Okay, now I'm going to bring back in some fuzzy. And here's some of my fuzzy. And I'm going to lay it across the top like that. So just more glue. I'm just using the glue today, guys. Maybe that's why, because tape wouldn't really work using all this. Okay, so after you get the pink fuzzy stuff glued on, you go back and you trim up your tails, which all I did was I took my scissors and cut in a V from each side, and that's how I got the flag. Easy, easy. Now to finish it off so it looks just as finished as this one. So now we're at this point, it needs a little something else. And because we have the turquoise here, we want to add a little more turquoise. And I was digging around and I happened to find these snowflake brads that go perfect on this because it is a holiday winter large clip. So I got these years ago at Tuesday morning, I believe. I'm going to get one off with a lot of blue on it because I just think that's so pretty and will look so pretty with this tag. And then I'm just going to put it opposite. My blue is here, so I will add this right in this area right here. And it is a brad on the back. I don't know if you can see that. So all I'm going to do is punch it through right there. Okay, and I'm going to put the brads down. And there we go. How gorgeous is that? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you'll know when new videos post. And leave me a comment down below. What is the coolest thing you've ever given as a gift? Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.